It would seem that the police also has a different view. After all, there are two sides to every coin.
Yeah.
And so the police statement hinges on the fact that he was the one who actually came with persons to demand the release of the individuals who had been arrested.
He says no. He says he only went there so that Collins Dowda could speak to the police people because
the military officers on the site,
because they had ignored the assemblyman. That's what he says. That's what he says.
But I mean, so it depends. The burden on the police would be to substantiate these allegations beyond reasonable doubt, which is the standard of proof in criminal matters.
What has he been? Has he been charged with something?
Yes. So they've done. If we could go to the Section 204 file, I had opened it before this. So there have been provisional charges laid against him. So conspiracy to harm a public officer, conspiracy to, and in fact, he's also been given a 150,000 cedi bail, and he's also banned from traveling outside Greater Accra region, save with the approval from police. And this is allowed. The rationale behind that is bail is simply the court or the police telling you that we are going to let you go. Ordinarily, you are supposed to be in our custody, but we are going to let you go subject to you performing these stipulated requirements. In this instance, before he goes out of Accra, he's supposed to seek police permission.
Is it because they don't want him to go back to the constituency to interfere with the investigations?
Not necessarily so, but that's the general practice. And the rationale is that police officers or the police operates in
but he doesn't live in Accra. He only works in Accra. He's a member of parliament for Sutifi South or North. That's his abode. He's in Accra to attend parliament. If parliament goes off, he goes back there.
Yeah, but if he has a place of residence in Accra and it can be substantiated or it can be shown, demonstrated that he spent a reasonable amount of time in Accra, then the police in Accra may also assume for the purpose of, and moreover, this is the CID. IGP Christian Tete Yohunu directed the CID headquarters to commence investigation. So I think this docket has been given to them for the purpose of commencing investigation or investigating this issue.
Okay, let's come to the charges. What are they looking at?
Conspiracy to assault a public officer, actual assault on a public officer, conspiracy to cause unlawful damage, causing unlawful damage and rioting with weapons. And so these are offences that if proven,
he's being charged with himself routing with weapons.
Yes.
But the story doesn't say anything about he routing.
Exactly. As I said, these are provisional charges. I really am not in the shoes of the prosecutor, so I cannot tell.
Okay.
But these are provisional charges, and it also hinges on what eyewitnesses may have told the police provisionally.
Okay.
Because once you put someone before the courts, the person must be put before the courts for a reason. You must tell the courts that we are bringing this person here on suspicion of murder. You may not have charged him yet, but I say on suspicion of murder.
In this case, has he been charged?
He's been charged provisionally.
There's something called provisional charge.
Yes, so
different from real charge.
Well, it's also
what is the role of provisional charge in the criminal procedure?
It's also a charge, but the reason they do that is most likely investigations have not concluded yet. Ordinarily, investigations are supposed to conclude. A report is supposed to be produced. The docket is supposed to be forwarded from the police to whether it's the Attorney General, Iyoko, or the prosecutor dealing with the matter, and then prosecution commences. But in certain instances, more particularly so when what the matter may be of interest, and when really we do not really have to go and fish. It's not that we're going to find whether or not it's not a murder case that someone ran away. We are going to take fingerprints and then test and see. These are issues where on the surface, maybe they were able to procure eyewitness testimony, they were able to procure the opinions of persons on ground. And so based on that, they have a reasonable cause to believe that indeed these charges can succeed. And so they will do this. However, you have to remember that the standard of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. So you cannot just charge the person and then progress. They would have to go back and do their homework well, so that as the trial the matter is progressing, they will be able to show the courts that indeed, beyond reasonable doubt, the accused person.
So he has showed up in court, from what you're telling me.
Yes, that is so. He showed up. He went to the police.
Why is the court in Accra?
The court is in Accra.
Yeah, but the place where the offense occurred.
For purposes,
does it not raise jurisdictional issues?
No, for purposes. So these things happen several times. For purposes of expedience, the dockets they may write and request for the dockets to be transferred. It can be for safety reasons. It can be so. For instance, the trial concerning the murder of the Iana ordinarily should have taken place.
I remember that. It was in Accra.
But it was in Accra.
At
that time, court complex had not been built, so it was at the
I remember that.
Supreme Court's
Yes,
place.
yes,
Exactly.
yes.
But the offense didn't really happen here. So those things, for administrative purposes, if you suspect you cannot assure the safety, maybe somebody may be there who doesn't like what he did, would come after him, or so to play it safe, it's better.
So the jurisdictional issues have not been offended. It's part of the procedure.
It's part of the administrative processes.
Okay.
And so as it stands now, this is what he's being charged under. These are the offences. So Section 205 of Act 29 provides that anybody who assaults a public officer, more particularly so in the process of performing their lawful duties, commits a misdemeanor, which is maximum of 3 years in prison. And so if it's found guilty, he will be convicted on that charge. The other offense includes Section 172(1)(a) of Act 29, which talks about causing unlawful damage. For this, causing unlawful damage is a bit tricky because the gravity of the offense hinges or relies on the extent of the damage caused. So, for instance, if the damage caused exceeds 1 million Ghana cedis or has no pecuniary value, the offense is classified as does not exceed 1 million cedis or has no pecuniary. When we say has no pecuniary value, it has no value. It has no value. It's not something you can purchase with money.
Okay.
Exactly. The offense is classified as a misdemeanor. If it exceeds 1 million, it is considered a second-degree felony. And if it is caused in a way that is likely to endanger life, it becomes a first-degree felony. So it will mean that, as of now, the police would have to go back to the drawing board and then assess the damage that was caused to see where they can fit. So generally, to be called causing damage, reason it is preliminarily, or these charges, and then they would go back, do their homework, and then see where they can fit. It's maybe
what
more
is
than
the
1
state
million.
of affairs? The people who were arrested, where are they now? Do you know?
The Galamsey, for that we have no notice of it as to whether indeed when they were set free they were rearrested. But it would seem that the story immediately that in fact what happened was the military they were on their way moving from one town. They had nothing to do with. They didn't really go specifically to apprehend those people. It was when they were in transit that they saw persons engaging in Galamsey. And now, as you know, people engage in Galamsey by highways, in the hinterland. So it was upon seeing that I'm sure they got angry, got down from their vehicles and apprehended them. And so it became a back and forth. So I'm sure some calls were made, and that was why when the MP called Honorable Collins Dowda, he mentioned that he had already even sent somebody there whom the military refused to speak to. Yeah. And so subsequent, the MP claims or says that they came with the military officers and those that were apprehended to the Hridian police station. And it is at the Hridian police station that the specific acts occurred. So the police is alleging that he incited the crowd. He is alleging that he came there to more or less try and water down tempers, because after all, he's an MP. An MP is a leader.
But why is it that when Galamseyers are arrested, they are calling an MP? Is that a relationship? What's the point?
Or maybe the Galamseyer has a friend who is an MP. It doesn't mean the MP is implicated.
I get that, but why is the MP always the first person they call?
Oh, that's MP. The MP is there for the people. He exists for the people. He's voted for the people. And see, the thing is, the MP is the first point of call because he's the one who comes to campaign. He's the one who comes to the funerals. He's the one who comes to the wedding. So he's the point of power that is easily accessible.
But did the MP tell them to go and do Galamsey?
I don't think so. He seems like a decent man. I don't think he told them to do Galamsey. But they're in trouble anyway. It's like when you cross a red light and the police catch you and then you start calling. I remember one time I was sleeping at 1 a.m. I received a call. My friend has crossed red lights at Burma. I didn't send you to cross red lights. But these things, you are in trouble. It's human. I don't think
I think there's going to be political football played heavily with this one. But anyway.